And welcome to the follow-up video for the quick start with AndroidXR in Unity, and this time we're going to look at the AndroidXR extensions provided by Google. So let's get going and let's start with the project where we left off last time. As you can see here, the only thing I changed so far is updating AR Foundation to the pre-4 package and updating the Unity OpenXR AndroidXR to version 4.4.1. So everything is the same as last time. We have the XR Interaction Manager, everything regarding Unity's interaction toolkit. And when looking at the documentation page for AndroidXR.com, you can all see that there is the Unity support, Unity XR basics, blah, 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 and there are the AndroidXR extensions for Unity. It's basically the same as with the AR stuff, which was provided by Google for AR Core. There is also an extensions package, and here we can find it on GitHub AndroidXR Unity package, and there is the whole package with the samples included. When clicking on AndroidXR Extensions Quick Start, we can see that import packages is mentioned here. We have to download our tarball package or the Git URL or link up the Git URL. So we are going to do the Git URL. So going onto the GitHub page to code and copy this link here, and then go back to Unity into the package manager, click on the plus sign, install package from Git URL and enter the Git URL here. Go to install, wait a few seconds, and the AndroidXR extensions for Unity are installed, and we can see that here is a samples page where we can import all the samples. Let's do this real quick. There we go. Here is a missing prefab. The cubes prefab required components. Let's get this all done. And there are a lot of materials, I guess, which are not ready for URP. Let's check this out real quick. Of course, we can just go to Window, Rendering, Render Pipeline Converter, Material Upgrade, built into URP, and initialize and convert assets. This should be it. The mirror material and a few other things could be converted, but usually it should work. Let's check this real quick. And mesh. It's at least converted. Trackables. Yeah, that's looking good. And after having the samples imported, let's create a new folder and create a new default material, because the materials are not automatically converted from the scene. And then go to samples, AndroidXR extensions, and go to the composition layers. There is a README here, which tells us that we have to install the COM Unity XR composition layers package for it to work. We'll do that right now. Window, package manager, plus install package by name, COM Unity XR composition layers, install. Wait a minute. After that is installed, we can use the composition layers, and let's see, edit project settings, plugin management, OpenXR, and we can select the session management, pass-through, composition layers, and so on. Everything is written here. Okay, and let's open the sample for pass-through. We see that the materials are not working, so we're just selecting them, adding the default material that we created earlier on. And let's see, this looks good. Composition layer here, AndroidXR, nice. So if we want to use the composition layers, let's go to Edit, Project Settings, and to OpenXR, and we see that AndroidXR, the AR camera here, has some incompatible settings. Let's go here. The composition layers support feature is required to use the composition layers package. Let's click on fix, and AR camera management component should be enabled for pass-through. Fix, and let's add the AR camera manager here so that the warning will go away, and we can see that this is working here. No warnings at all. And let's see if this is enabled already, so we can enable AndroidXR extensions. For the anchor, we still have an error. Plane is incompatible. Fix. And the anchor is incompatible. Fixed is 2. And pass-through composition layer, plane object tracking, hand mesh anchor, and the AR camera occlusion, recast session, face tracking, and so on, composition layer support, and the hand tracking subsystem, as well as the meta hand tracking aim. So this scene is now working. Composition layer, pass-through composition layer is disabled. This warning was before because now it's enabled. Nice. That would be the pass-through sample. Let's have a look at the next sample, like go to hand mesh. There is also readme here. So we need the session management, the AndroidXR hand mesh. Here it is. Session management is enabled too. Okay, that sounds good. So let's open the hand mesh. The camera, input action manager, camera offset, main camera, input methods, left hand and right hand with the hand mesh material and mesh renderer, the material. And I'm pretty sure that the mesh will be created by the hand mesh controller, and the permissions here. So this would be the hand mesh sample, which should also be working out of the box. And the object tracking, let's see, XR plugin management is session management, plane object tracking, extensions plane, extensions session management, extensions object tracking, which is over here. It's looking good. Project validation tells us that we should add the AR camera manager here again. Main camera, AR camera manager. Okay, nice. All checks are good. There is the default object library, name unknown. Is there something hidden if I make it? Well, I don't know. Let's click on this. Keyboard, mouse, node. Okay, laptop, reference object, apps, assets. Is required for working the default library. Okay, expect future update in AR Foundation package to formally support non-library use case. Okay, so we will need one library as default. But that's looking good. That should also work out of the box. And for the trackables, session management plane anchor. Okay. Use raycast for the normal pack from the usual package. Edit OpenXR, AR session, AR raycast. Anchor persistence. Okay, edit project settings. Anchor, there is the gear. Use persistence for persistent anchors, okay, and for the session management, let's see Europe space open Vulkan, subsampling immersive XR. Okay, we can also enable that. The session optimize buffer discards in Vulkan. Okay, nice. So we have a lot of additional settings here which we can use. It's looking good. So that's for the trackables. sample. I guess there is a prefab for blue material, green material, raycast plane anchor in the controller, trackables controller, plane anchor raycast. Yeah, that's looking good. Depth. Okay, so that's basically everything we need to do for importing. And having a look at the documentation again, selecting the overview, we can see that when scrolling down a little bit, every feature and compatibility is explained. And for instance, starting with AR session, there is often the sentence, you can enable both feature sets at the same time. Individual features will handle conflicts accordingly. So whatever you need, you can just look it up here and set up your project. For instance, AndroidXR AR camera, there is no equivalent in the XR extensions, which makes sense. So we have to use the AndroidXR feature. Or if we go over to the AR plane, in the future AR XR extensions plane will be removed in favor of AndroidXR AR anchor. So we always have to look this up and set up everything accordingly. For instance, the object tracking is only within the extensions, raycast is only within AndroidXR in the default package, and so on and so forth, unbounded reference space, blend mode, and so on. So make sure to check this out, have a look at the samples, upgrade your materials, check everything that's going on here. There is at least, I forgot to add the AR camera manager here. AR camera manager, and save it. You can play around with the samples, and again, features you can use already, you can use with other frameworks already. You can use them here by just setting up the right XR backend. For instance, especially when it comes to the hand tracking, you can just select the MetaQuest, open XR feature group here, disable the Android XR stuff, and you can also test on your Quest. So that's it for a short follow-up for AndroidXR extensions. There is a lot more to come, and we will have to wait for the first devices to arrive and to check with the simulator how these examples work and what you can do with it. So thank you for watching, hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.